episode 5? Are we on 5?
Yeah,
Was that a
5?
question or something?
Yeah, this is. I don't remember. Yeah, episode 5. Bunker Hill Boys podcast. There's 4 of us. Holy shit. 2 are returning. 2 are constant. All shall be revealed in the future. Tonight we got me, obviously. We got the Steen Man on this side, down here. We got Dean from way down yonder in the Chattahoochee. We got Lot from the Great White Northern Oven Mitt. And yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. So let's talk about it. First off, in global news, Wintersing, what we got?
We got the German lady. I don't know her exact position in Parliament. But
yeah, German Parliament member.
Yep, she's calling for citizens of the world to protest COVID tyranny.
Yeah, which is pretty wild to hear from
given their
Germany. You know, with their ties to history. But yeah, so, and her last name's Anderson? Wow. Anderson says it's all coming back. The first countries already starting to talk about mask mandates is in Israel. I've heard of a few universities in the United States. They're already bringing it back, and I would really like for you, the people, to simply not go along, simply say no. They want you to wear a mask, say no. They want you to put another mRNA shot, say no. They want to impose curfew, say no. So, yeah, it's coming back with a fashion. We've only been talking about it for a month.
Yep.
But
we already talked about the vaccine inefficiency to block getting COVID and spreading it.
The vaccine, mRNAs are not traditional vaccines. Get learned.
That's true. And how the masks aren't efficient in stopping transmission or getting it. And that's true. mRNAs are not vaccines. They're not putting a traditional vaccine in your body. They're putting a messenger or RNA that pretty much changes your DNA. And we don't even know the extent of damage it causes to your body, but you've seen the amount of people dying suddenly.
Well, hang on. It was dangerous before the regime change happened, but when the regime change happened, it was awesome. It was the most helpful thing we've had, right?
Yeah.
Because the science said
Trump was president,
that it was dangerous while Trump was president. But as soon as the hands switched, that's good.
Now it's a mandate.
It's healthy for you. And allegedly, word on the block is new vaccines are coming out that are the latest and greatest.
I don't doubt it. They've had how many booster shots now?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude, they've had a lot.
Yeah,
at least.
Said specifically it's for all ages.
Well, and what's the new variant? What are they calling it now?
I think it's a form of Omicron.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like B286 was actually the strain that they're making this vaccine for, but I was listening to this one doctor who was analyzing the data collected on how often it's in like the system or spreading around, and the percentage of it was dropping like pretty dramatically since the mutation is so rapid with this fucking disease as it is. It's like, how long does that fucking variant last for, since this has been mutating so often?
Right, it's probably long enough to you get the shot, and then it fucking immediately switches. It's like, oh, you got to get your next one.
Got to get your next booster.
I know that same doctor, that specific strain is affecting more vaccinated people than anyone else.
Yeah, like you can take knowing that piece of like the actual science that everyone I think can agree on, and then just think about the process that it probably takes to make a vaccine, and you're skipping so many steps prior. And like, if you'd be lying to yourself flat out if you don't acknowledge all the issues that have raised about because of the fast trials and like them lying about, oh, there's no transmissibility. Like they knew there wasn't, it wasn't going to stop transmission with the vaccinated. Yep. Like even if you're vaccinated, you're still going to get it. It doesn't prevent that. But they lied about it and said that it did. But then when they're caught on a video at hearings and whatnot, especially in Australia's like government, they were really pushing hard on that shit. But they claimed that I'm fucking taking it up. I'm just kind of spieling right now. I'm sorry, but
you're fine. You're fine.
Good.
Preach it.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's just obvious. I mean, it's just obvious.
Yeah.
You have to look back and it's just silly.
It's a control thing. There's no way that they could churn that shit out as quick as they did, and it'd be a normal, safe thing. And
that was my first red flag. It's way too fucking quick.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but well, I no, my train of thought's going different places, but I just don't understand how it goes from in early 2020. I think it was early 2020. No, late 2019. No, it would have been 2020. Yeah, when
it started.
Spreading around.
Well, I'm thinking of when all the critics were coming out on Trump saying that Operation Warp Speed was like insane.
Late 2020,
late 2020.
Yeah, I don't trust Trump. I don't trust the vaccine. I am never taking this vaccine in my life. 2 months later, I'll take 100 vaccines today.
Let's go. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was just crazy to sit on the sidelines and watch all that happen. And I mean, it's so ingrained in the culture now too. Like it's really kind of fucking weird. Like,
well, it's, the worst part is you can't leave country if you don't have it.
Which is, yeah.
If you don't have the vaccine, you're not traveling. You know what I mean?
Well, it was to a point, correct me if I'm wrong, to where there was no interstate flying either if you didn't have it. When it really
started.
Bad. Yeah.
When it started, they weren't. You weren't. When it started, you had to have special permission to leave state if you were like traveling along major borders. Because
it's on my tattoo.
Yeah, just totally disregard the Constitution. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because my girlfriend was in Florida when COVID started, and at first she was like, "Okay, cool, we're going to spend an extra week or two in Florida," and then once they started to lock down all the states, they were like, "Oh fuck, we need to get back home," and they had a hard time actually getting back to North Carolina, Florida.
Wow,
that's crazy. So yeah. Germany says stand up against tyranny. If Germany's the one saying it, we should probably take heed because they know a thing or two about tyranny.
Yeah,
they are kind of the experts on it. Yeah. Anybody got anything else they want to put in on that? Or
I would say it's not hard. Just don't wear the mask and don't get the fucking untested vaccine, please.
Yeah, for sure. For sure on the vaccine, I still personally stand on the if grandma wants to wear a mask because it makes her feel safe.
If you're sick, go ahead and wear it if you don't want to spread it. But if you're a healthy person.
If you're a normal human, like if I'm going to Chipotle, I'm not wearing a mask. Sorry. Yeah. Like, it's stupid.
Well, I guess I also have a different perspective than like probably you guys because I'm in a small town and
try that.
That was that was never a problem with wearing a mask, dude. Just no one did here. You know what I mean? The only
because the small towns in the South are not fucking drones.
The only place where I had to hear was at the doctor's office. That was the only place where they made you.
I drove through a small
town. The healing man made you.
The witch doctor.
I drove through a small town in Texas. Yeah, they were acting like it didn't even exist.
Yeah, I mean, and that's...
because they're normal, and they don't give a shit.
It felt
great, They would rather live their life in a normal capacity than be terrified.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset. When you go to big-ass cities, like where I'm at now, every single person is so goddamn worried about their existence that is so mundane. It's literally wake up, do the same shit, and then go home, go to sleep, repeat. Where it's like they don't give a shit except for their safety. Like
that's why they don't care about giving up their freedom for safety.
Right, exactly. That was my whole point with it. Thank you for stopping me before I go crazy.
Yeah, try not to go.
Yeah. I'm starting
over our time limit.
Yeah, I'm starting to rant. All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next one is Our fearless leader, former Vice President Joe Biden. I'm stealing that one from Mug Club. Scolds media on how to cover his impeachment.
More specifically, issues an order to the media on how to cover the story.
Yeah.
Bull jerky.
Bull jerky, indeed.
That's USA Today calling it out. That's crazy.
Yep. I know. That's why. That's it. Yeah. It's
Even
so,
CNN made fun of it.
So there's been we were discussing this. Yeah, journalism lesson from Biden. No thanks. For years, Republicans in Congress have tried muddying the waters and attracting media coverage on their allegations. And as they chose to move forward with the impeachment, it is the responsibility of independent press to treat their claims with the appropriate scrutiny. The memo scolds.
Independent press. Leave them the fuck alone.
Covering impeachment as a process story, Republicans say X, but the White House says Y. It is a disservice to the American public who relies on independent press to hold these powers accountable.
They're recognizing independent press while fucking trying to control thus press.
Hey, so I understand that you guys think that you're free, but here's the actual narrative. Oh, man. It's 1984. I swear to God, everywhere I look. Yeah. Everywhere I look is 1984.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if we discussed this, Andrew, you and I, on a phone call, or if it was on last podcast. I don't really remember because we talk about a lot of shit. But you remember when investigative journalism was like, they used to make like movies about that shit where they would like infiltrate like a fucking mob or something, and it was like, oh, we gotta get the story. And like now it's a lot less like that, investigative journalism, but like,
yeah, you're given the story to make.
Right. But there are, I mean, still freedom of the press is a thing. And it's like, you can't have a state-run press. I mean, what the press decides to do with freedom of the press is different.
Yeah, it's hard to say, like, oh my God, all the press is definitely not,
they're
being controlled.
Yeah.
Operation Mockingbird.
Yeah.
What's that?
Look it up if you're listening.
What's that? No, give us a little spark notes.
Federal agents paying off publishers to either get rid of stories or to publish stories a certain way. And it was a government-funded operation.
Yeah, there's no way it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's even the stories you want to read about are so hard to find. Google puts them at like page 6.
It's just, yeah. They bury them.
Yeah, it's that, or you have to search it so oddly specifically that they have no choice to give it to you. But even then, it's just like, what I fucking wanted the first time.
During COVID, Lot told me about DuckDuckGo, and that's way better at finding the shit you're actually looking for because they don't use all the same algorithms that Google uses, and they don't track your data either.
Yeah, I used to install that a lot.
It's interesting to compare a Google search with the search. It's like,
yeah, you search something in Google and it's all CNN, or you're not finding it at all. DuckDuckGo is the first link.
Yeah,
exactly what you're looking for.
That's what happens when you get certain exemptions from the big man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's absolutely insane to me. Like that a government entity that is under investigation is like, hey, don't cover it like that though, because it'll make us look bad. It's like, yeah, that's the point, you moron.
That's the point. Yeah.
The whole point of it is,
and they address independent media. They say it like 3 times while they're issuing an order. Like, hey, this is our side of the story. This is how you're going to say it. And also, we're recognizing that you're independent media. What?
Yeah.
How is it?
You're independent to a degree.
Yeah, you're independent till you lose out on your fucking broadcasting deals.
Is this real life, dude? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean,
hey, independent media, this is our narrative. Do it.
Yeah.
I mean, just do it or be silenced for most of these people, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or take your pay cut and the almighty dollar rules all. You know, a lot of people aren't going to be willing to say, "Oh, I'm going to turn down that money." You know,
Tucker Carlson was hinting at like a couple weeks ago that there's a lot of people in mainstream media that are on big government payrolls.
You know who's not? The Bunker Hill Boys podcast.
You want independent journalism? You know where to
You
find
want the truth? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Lot, did you have something you wanted to say?
I guess just with, I mean, do you guys agree that we can see to a certain, I mean, I'm sure you do with the algorithms, like brainwashing capabilities that has, but the usage of someone has on their phone.
Yeah.
It's like people in the high media places are being, manipulated through probably blackmail and also bribery. But I mean, also,
Yep.
maybe for them to get to this point that we're witnessing today, maybe brainwashing from the outside without having that constant direct like blackmail or bribery. They brainwash them into just maybe seeing reality in a different way because it's like it seems like we're in a simulation. Almost is like you're splitting the sane and the insane to such a large margin, I guess.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm
Considering
saying?
that
easier
right
with
now, like, I know this is weird, but I literally just got goosebumps thinking about that because it's like,
Yeah.
because
scary.
there's like, there's a clear divide between like normal rationality, and I'm talking left and right normal people.
Yeah, it's
And like what they want you to actually act like.
I see it all the time.
Like,
you talk to someone, they're either going to be like, oh, really? And they're going to look into it, or they're just going to regurgitate a CNN headline. You can tell right away.
well, that's not what the state issued statement was. So,
I'm
You
a
gotta go
Christian,
off
but
that.
I have more faith in Fauci than I do in the Bible.
yeah. No, it's true. It is so true. I've mentioned this before. I've been listening to the 12 Rules of Life, Jordan Peterson's book. Fantastic book. Everyone should listen
does
to
he
it.
narrate it?
He does.
Yeah,
he reads
but
it.
he's
Does that
not.
make it tough?
It
Does that make it tough to get
no,
through?
he did good.
lobsters. Listen, the lobsters.
No, he did pretty good.
No, it's fantastic because it's literally Jordan Peterson sitting in a room reading a book.
He's
So,
got some jokes too.
It's
about
actually
lobsters.
really sad. There's a part where he like gets super emotional. But anyway, we're getting way off topic. I completely lost where I was at.
Jordan Peterson's book.
Yeah. What were we talking about right before that?
That's the TikTok brain right there.
That's
We
it
can make our
is. It's my
attention span.
15-second attention
Yeah,
span.
it's your. Where's the Subway Surfers video next to this?
No, what were we just talking about? Oh,
I-
the profane has now become what is it? What is the quote? The holy has become the profane, and the profane has become the holy.
Yep.
And basically that means that religion has been replaced with politics. Politics are now a religion.
And things that shouldn't even be political, like the response to COVID, which became political. There's a religious reaction to you got to pick a side.
Oh, there's a zealotry that is just
you're
insane.
either on the left or you're on the right, and it's a holy war against each other.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, they all they do is try to sow division though between left and right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're stoking the fire for sure.
Yeah, because it's not even like most of the people I talk to out and about, I don't try to get into politics for that reason. And there's a lot of people that I'm very cool with, but they might have more, liberal views, but I don't care on a day-to-day basis, but
Right.
if they get into anything media related, it's instantly, pointing and shoving because it's just they want us to be doing that. They don't want us to be at all unified with one another.
Right. And I want to cut in and say that's the whole point of why we're doing this. The whole point behind why we're doing this is to stop that bullshit. Because there is no reason that I shouldn't be able to have the sensible conversation with someone that, is completely pro-choice, that someone is completely, mask mandate, whatever the hell. There should be no reason that I can't sit there and talk with them and then go have a drink with them. Go have dinner with them.
I can't even take pictures with direct family members over this shit.
Right. And honestly, and this is going to get really lectury and really ranty really quick if I keep it up, but I'm getting really pissed when I talk about this. If you are basing your entire personality based off a political belief, you're honestly a piece of shit. I'm sorry, you are. If your entire ideology is to completely shelve the human side of interaction for politics, you need to really reevaluate what the fuck you're doing in your life.
Like we talked about before.
Okay,
everyone's focused on fighting over these political issues, like you said, when at the end of the day we agree on principles and moralities, and we're just ignoring.
You know what we all like? Freedom. Look at this fucking flag. We wouldn't even be able to talk about this shit if it wasn't for this fucking
principles and moralities. Stop watching CNN if they're not talking about Maui and what the fuck we're going to do about it to help those people.
The problem is, though, we keep throwing CNN out there.
And Fox. Stop watching Fox.
Fox is just as bad, man. I mean, really, if you want to go through and actually know what the
hit on.
Yeah, if you want to go through and actually know about what the fuck is going on, you've got to go visit every website and then kind of get your
own decision.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, go read CNN. Then go find the same article from Fox, and then go find the same article from NPR, and then maybe at the end you'll have like, okay, maybe that's the whole story. I like NPR, low key.
Great save, Dean. I didn't want to sound like that at all.
No, it's 1,000% true, and that's what we stand for: is come to your own decision, make your own informed decision.
It's just fucked up. You have to go to 12 different news articles to make that decision because they each cut out something of the story to push their side of the division.
Just come to Bunker Hill Boys podcast.
Bunker Hill Boys. We just rant and drink.
And that's why people pick us. That's why people.
Yeah. Because if you just so happen to fall off and just say, okay, if even if someone's politically neutral and they just say, I just so happen to like the speaker of, CNN News. I just like the way that guy talks, whatever. I don't even know who the fuck their main broadcast guy is. But if you just like the way he sounds and that's all you listen to off of that thing, you're going to be missing out on half the story.
Yeah.
To quote a famous hero in mythology of the Tolkien design, known as Treebeard, whose side am I on? Nobody's side, because nobody's on my side.
It's like that's what Oliver Anthony said too.
Yeah. He's also now on an FBI watch list.
This guy probably also felt similarly.
Hashtag killdozer. All right.
Peace dozer.
He didn't hurt anybody.
No, he did not. He went after
That is such a sad yet badass story.
Did you watch the movie?
No, I didn't know.
The movie's great. They made a movie, and it's a good documentary. They go through and talk to the people that like from the area that knew him before it all happened, and just saying about it's basically just a bunch of the guys that knew him or people that just like
what
knew
I
him.
heard, he was very reasonable,
super reasonable, very, very calm, collective man throughout his whole life. And
they just really came down on him.
Yeah, they just completely fucked him over.
Yeah. Didn't they build a factory behind his land where he couldn't even like get access to it?
He couldn't get access to the main road anymore. He couldn't get his drive. They cut off his driveway access to put in a concrete plant.
And wasn't he a mechanic?
He owned a muffler shop, and he also worked on like snowmobiles and other shit. You know what I mean?
Because it was just they need access to.
Yeah, he had a muffler shop. Yeah.
And they just denied. They basically just cut him off from his income.
Yes, yeah, that's basically what happened, and then just through fighting it through local government, he just kept getting fed up because of local government, small town politics. Last names matter. That's what happened. And then if you just get fucked over in that, and the other guy has a little bit more leanway than you, he just ended up getting completely shelled out of it. And then at the end, he just said, "Fuck it,"
That's why we got to start to fucking unite and stop dividing. That's the same thing that happens to everyone, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So they do that to the Native Americans. They do that to people like him. They're doing it to the people in Hawaii.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who you are. They're coming for you.
Yeah.
They're not going to stop.
But if you haven't seen the movie, it's a good watch. It's pretty unbiased. It kind of tells the whole story from both sides of people saying like that was fucked up what he did, and there was a lot of guys saying like terrible what he did, but also understanding from what he was coming from. You know?
Yeah. Again, for anyone that's watching, that's the Killdozer story. It was, when did that happen? In the early 2000s, 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good 20 years ago, give or take.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a tragedy in its own. But yeah. Anyways,
his quote was, "Reasonable men are pushed to do unreasonable things." That because he left the whole audio tape memoirs as he was building it.
it's funny how those came out, but the Chattanooga or wherever it was,
We're still waiting on a manifesto.
the manifesto. Thank you.
From the
Thank
school
you.
shooting carried out by the transgender.
Yep. Funny how that's a thing.
Oh, I forgot that happened.
Yep.
Yeah, the police
The
said immediately
shooter
that they were
in
going to
Florida.
release the manifesto within days, and it's been
And then the FBI
half a
showed up.
year. Yeah,
But
The FBI said, "Isn't that weird that the sheriff had like 12 gigabytes of child porn?" Don't know what happened to him.
that's getting censored.
and if you think the administration would have something, if you think this current administration would have something to do with controlling a story, just look at what we talked about earlier, how they're trying to control the impeachment story.
but that's isolated. That's just one thing.
Just one.
Biden's
I'm
also
sure
competent.
that hasn't happened again.
Not once. It's never
Department
happened
of Justice.
in the history of the United
No.
States.
History of ever.
Speaking, good segue. Speaking of things that have never been covered up before, new information came out on the JFK assassination.
Yeah,
So
this is
let's-
a huge one.
Let's take a gander at that, because that's
And
I
speaking
feel
of
like the
movies,
whole
watch
thing
JFK
with
by
JFK
Oliver Stone.
I think the thing with JFK that everyone can agree on is left and right kind of loved JFK.
Everyone
Like, he
loves
was a
JFK.
very unifying president.
Yep.
Yes.
Obviously, there was flaws. We're all human.
Everyone also
but
loved
on-
RFK, and that's why he got assassinated.
We
But
can
yeah,
He had things we disagree with politically, but his principles and his morals are aligned 100%.
You know what every single assassinated president has in common?
oh,
They all try to disband.
the Federal Reserve.
Exactly.
You know, the thing with the name in it that's not actually a federal institution, it's actually a
Yeah.
private institution.
Yeah, every assassinated president tried to disband it. Just a little fun fact.
We're not saying anything. We're just saying connect the dots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
if you
I do like Central Intelligence's new way of handling that is they no longer assassinate people. It's just like, oh my god, look what we found on this Windows 95 computer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
all right.
Allegedly.
So if you're not aware, the story behind the JFK assassination that the commission by the government commissioned story is that Lee Harvey Oswald was the only gunman, regardless of any of the witnesses on the ground.
Which
And
has scientifically been disproven. I watched Mythbusters when I was 8, and I learned that.
the only reason they came to that conclusion is because of the so-called magic bullet theory, which is the one bullet that was found on the stretcher, on JFK's stretcher, and they came up with a story to describe how that one bullet from Lee Harvey Oswald's rifle entered through not just JFK, but someone else sitting in front of him through different body parts. That's why they call it magic bullet. It doesn't make any sense.
Which anyone
And-
that knows anything about bullet wound trauma knows that as soon as a bullet hits a hard surface, it starts spiraling. Like, it starts turning over, and it would be very, very hard for it to end up the way that it did end up without just flying straight and narrow. And it's been disproven.
Yeah. So yeah. If you watch JFK by Oliver Stone, they show the magic bullet theory and it's straight line trajectories, every path it takes. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But anyways, the reason that apparently proves the lone gunman theory is because that bullet was supposedly found on JFK's body, but the Secret Service agent who was on the ground at the time claims that he found that bullet somewhere in the car and placed it in the stretcher so it didn't get lost because he felt it was an important piece of evidence. So the entire theory falls apart because that bullet was just a random bullet found somewhere in the car. It didn't come out of JFK's body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Destroys the whole magic bullet argument, which is the only so-called evidence they had to prove the lone gunman theory.
Let's see. So the person in question is Paul Landis, 88-year-old former Secret Service agent. So he was literally there when it happened. And what he recalls is, let's see. In an interview with New York Times, Mr. Landis said that after the motorcade arrived at the hospital, he spotted a bullet lodged in Kennedy's car behind where the president had been sitting. He picked it up, pocketed it. Shortly after, in his recollections, he was in an emergency room with President Kennedy, where he said he placed it on the president's gurney so the evidence would travel with the body. Quote, there was nobody there to secure the scene, and that was big bother to me. So it was already concerning to him that there was nobody there to actually make sure there was nothing to be tampered with. And this was all going on so quickly, and I was just afraid that it was a piece of evidence, and I realized it right away. Very important. I didn't want it to get I didn't want it to disappear or get lost. He never came forward with the evidence, but he did file reports and statements in the immediate aftermath. He never wrote down any of them in an official report. He was totally sleep deprived and still required to work, and he was suffering from severe PTSD. He forgot about the bullet. So,
I take his word over the War Commission. He's an eyewitness.
who killed JFK?
Some alphabet soup.
It's
Surely not the Central Intelligence Agency.
Yeah, it's a fact.
It
JFK
wouldn't
was
be,
battling all the intelligence agencies and government agencies and the military-industrial complex throughout his entire term as president.
My favorite thing is the mob story. They're like, no, it was the mob. The mob hated him. Yeah, the mob hired Marine Corps snipers to make make more difficult shots than the 360 no scope on Modern Warfare 2. Like, it's
Light work,
the
bro.
most. Yeah, it's easy. It's cake.
Light work.
Like,
Is it
come
cake?
on.
What do you think, Lot? You're the one that told me about the JFK movie.
Lot has been thinking about all of this for the past 20 minutes, and I want to hear him speak his mind.
I don't know what else really needs to be said with the JFK assassination. I don't even know if many people disbelieve it. I think we all kind of know it, but just don't care to really do much about it. I mean, even it's great to see RFK Jr. to take such an open position on acknowledging like the Federal Reserve is a problem.
I know.
Like, don't you think you could get assassinated? He's like, yeah, but I mean, I better be upfront and honest. Like, I know that's a possibility. But
damn straight, stand for something, die for nothing.
You can't just say like, oh, Martin Luther King assassination, Robert Kennedy assassination after JFK had it. I mean, that's not a coincidence.
Yeah, one's the mob, one's not the mob. This one's
it was when they started going against the war in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Military industrial complex is what killed.
Yep.
It's money flowing. Yeah.
Yep. Which we talked about that in the first episode. For anyone that wants to reference that, how JFK was assassinated, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but a couple months later, LBJ ordered 100,000 servicemen to Vietnam.
Yep.
And JFK was trying to strong arm that and block it from happening.
Yeah. They got in his way on every front. When he was trying to make peace with Russia during the Cold War, he had to set up a secret line of communication because everyone was lying to him and he knew it. Thank God for JFK.
That's something that I just want to rant on very quickly. Stop saying that Russia's the enemy. That's not a thing anymore. That hasn't been a thing since the 90s. We have no reason to hate people that have done nothing to us. Like, our generation is not the Red Scare generation. We don't understand where this is coming from.
It's like the Hatfield and McCoys. It just goes on and on forever, and the people
it's some of your parents
don't even remember why the conflict started in the first place.
Right? It's an inheritance thing. It is.
Yeah.
But like, that's not who we are.
Like, I know, but if you think about it, any like action movie, who's the bad guys? You know what I mean? Like growing up for our generation,
it's always the Russians. Well,
it's the Russians.
Well, it was the terrorists for a while.
But
the poor Middle Eastern goat farmer.
But that's not how it is in the movie. I'm just saying, if you watch a movie, it's always the Russians.
Yeah.
Like a fictional movie, Russians are the bad guys.
Yeah.
That is the way we grew up. We are imprinted with Russians being the bad guys.
You know what that's called? Propaganda. Indoctrination.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, it is 1,000%. We talked about it before. Same thing with 9/11.
I mean, everyone is educated, I think, in like the public school system about the propaganda North Korea pushes on their fucking people.
That's true.
And you can draw fucking parallels if you like want to look.
Every country pushes it out. You know what I mean?
You can see it in every other country. Start looking at your own.
Which speaking of, very quickly, I want to snag that from Lot. Did anyone notice that Putin had a visit from Kim Jong-un over the week?
Yeah, they're getting closer.
Now they're getting buddy. But no, the guy that actually wanted to try to work with them is a piece of shit and is lined up to go to prison. I'm not saying I'm a Trumper.
Treason.
I'm not saying I'm a Trumper, but we were a lot less likely to go into a massive scale conflict 4 years ago than we are now.
And these countries that are against us were not, their relationship weren't as strong either. There was we weren't facing a front as united and strong as we are right now.
I'm literally seeing parallels with Germany, Italy, Japan.
Yeah.
China, Russia,
Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
You know who would handle this all? No problem.
RFK Jr.
Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
Who else has met with Kim Jong-un? You know what I mean? You have Trump, Putin, and Dennis Rodman.
Hang
Small
on.
circle. You know what I mean?
What about oh God, why can't I think of his name? The guy that
James
was
Franco?
Under Siege.
James Franco.
James Franco, yeah. No, the karate guy.
He got
like
me too.
Fat
He's
and old.
Oh, fucking
What's his name? Come on, what's his name?
oh my god. I know who you're talking about.
He makes, writes, and produces his own movies.
They're so bad too.
Yeah. All right, I gotta look it up.
It's Steve Seagal, is it?
Steve
Yes,
Seagal.
Steve Seagal. Yeah,
he's an inside man. He's friends with Putin.
We need Seagal to save the day.
Steve Seagal is fucking insane.
Oh yeah,
he's
it's awesome.
All
he's
of his
fat
shit,
and old,
and
he runs like a fucking mongoloid.
And he always has like a 20-year-old woman as his love interest.
And all of his shitty movies.
Yeah.
I love that he even made his own like martial art style to where it's just like him paying people
throwing guy.
Yes, it's just people that like randomly come at him and he just puts his hands up and then just throws them on the ground. And it's always just some random guy he gave $20 to let it. He's like, hey, let me throw you on the ground. But,
I read a story from Steven Seagal that I forget who it was. I almost want to say it was Bruce Lee, but I don't think it was Bruce Lee. But it was someone like a notable martial artist, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it choked me out." Yeah, because he's like fucking 6'7", and he's like just this weird.
And he's
Anyway,
a black belt in this
he
form
got
that he made
choked
up.
out. He got choked out. He shit himself.
Oh my god.
The story is he literally got choked out, shit his pants, and had to leave the set for the day.
Yeah, he's fucking insane. He's actually like an insane character of.
But he'll save the day.
I will be right back.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I guess we should wait for the next topic. I was literally about to move on.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just nuts, the climate that we're in now. Because I think back to, 4 years ago, and we weren't thinking about any of this shit.
There's a lot changed in the year of really 2019 on has been just fucking a dramatic change for the human climate.
Yep.
Yeah. As far as global politics, like geopolitics, like, we were literally joking about Trump visiting Kim Jong-un and Putin and stuff. And then he gets like an investigation going on against collusion, which comes up with nothing. They come up with nothing. So thank you for wasting our freaking tax dollars. And then, and now we're at the face of all out war. For no reason. What's the reason?
What's the money?
I don't want to go kill or get killed for nothing.
That's what all wars are, bro. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck have any of them been about besides making money? Because that's what they do, is they make money.
That's after World War II, we realized what they're capable of because we reaped in the benefits of us having that fucking, it was like a worthy war. That was.
Sure, yeah.
But we just took the nasty side of it, or at least politics did. Just
what are we talking about?
Look at this power we just gained. Let's keep it.
Yeah.
It was
true.
As much as it was power, but World War II drug us out of a recession.
Yes.
The 1950s versus the 1930s was so polarizing, it's insane.
Yes.
What one war did. It went from extreme poverty to like leading the charge of modernization. Like,
the
insanely
naval officer in charge of the fleet that was moved to Pearl Harbor before the attack resigned because he refused to follow an order to place the ships on Pearl Harbor, because that would put every single ship in the United States Navy in one place. And he said, "You're literally making us a sitting duck. I will literally resign before I do this." He resigned. They installed whoever they wanted, sent the ships to Pearl Harbor, and our entire Navy was attacked.
Yeah, it's all for money.
Was there.
You can't tell me that most of the wars that we've had haven't been for money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you look up Operation Northwoods, Gulf of Tonkin,
specifically talking about modern day United States.
Conflicts.
Yeah, modern conflicts.
But
I'm not saying mostly about like, hey, your ground looks fertile. Time to die.
I'm not saying we're not the heroes of World War II like a lot of people will do. I'm just saying they're not telling us the whole truth.
Yeah. You got 1950s, bro. Detroit was the richest city in the fucking world. Detroit. You know what I mean? It's just
Motor City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And then you install a couple blue politicians to run it. Sorry. Just saying. It
is crazy though.
It is,
especially being like a Motorhead guy. If you see the shit that just
they were like state of the art. Am I wrong?
Absolutely. Like I said, it was literally the richest city in the entire.
It was Motor
world.
City. It's where all the auto manufacturers were.
Right. But
I know. Yeah. I'm gonna get
now Ford and all those places outsource, and Donald Trump got them to come back to the United States, but he's a bad orange.
You know what I mean? A lot of them are made in they'll say a lot of the cars now are made in North America, which just means they're made in Mexico.
Mexico,
yeah, Ford
yeah.
has factories in Mexico, and they
Most
take
of them
pride
do.
in being American trucks. But
But thank
Most of them-
Christ for NAFTA. That's all I'm saying.
Most of them are produced in Mexico. That way they can still slap on made in North America. And most people don't look past that.
Well, shit. It says America.
Yeah, I mean, that's
You
even
know?
like, even European bikes are that way. They're real bad. You got to check. They'll make half their bikes in Europe, and the other half of the bikes are made in India. And you've got to look at VIN numbers to find which are which if you're
That's
collecting.
insane. That's
Yeah.
insane. That's so insane. And it's all because of volume. They just
Yeah,
want to
I mean-
mass produce the shit.
I mean, that's like, Triumph is really the only thing that Britain still makes there is like Land Rovers, which are trash, and Triumphs, which are just the British versions of Harley Davidson that actually run worth a fuck. But half of them are made in India, and fucking a lot of Harleys are made in India too and transferred over. A lot of things are now assembled in America.
Yeah.
But not-
Yeah, I've noticed that phrase has been slapped on so much stuff nowadays where it says assembled.
Proudly assembled in the USA.
Right.
It's like,
not
okay.
manufactured, assembled.
Yeah, where you have some, whatever.
Andrew, are you
12-year-old
still with
kid
us?
putting it together.
I did
Yeah,
see
I'm
the
good.
protest there.
It's
Okay. We lost you for a moment.
no,
Oh,
I didn't lose me.
So for anyone that is wondering, Dean is now our official resident car guy.
That's-
if
know.
anyone wants to know anything
And-
about cars. And
Lots our alien guy. You got any alien stuff?
Yeah, Mexico, bro.
the spicy thing about cars, for everyone that drives a Volkswagen, look up their flag in 1940.
Volkswagen.
Look up what they made. Anyways,
Car for the people is what they made, Solomon. A car for the people and the common man to finally be able to afford one. That is what they
Oh.
made.
called Das Panzerwagen.
That is what they made.
That's what the
You ca-
Ukrainians drive when they go around beating. Never mind.
Hey,
Alright, go-
man, don't talk about the Azov battalion like that, okay? Moving on. There are allies, and Ukraine is the United States. Hang on. We already talked about JFK. Let me pull up the next one, which is
Hey, Turner, pull that up.
Hey, Turner, pull that up. Speaking of tyrants. Well, hang on. I don't know if I got the right page pulled up. Give me
You
one
could probably
second.
pull up any of them.
Hang on. I almost have it. There it is. Oh, wait. Hang on. Hang on. That's the wrong page.
Son of a bitch. Third time's coming.
Damn. Okay. All right. Oh, I guess that was the right one. Okay. All right. From CNN, Endless Shrimp. There
Endless
we go.
shrimp, bro. Oh, thank God. This is what I wanted to talk about.
This bitch. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Yeah. So, Governor Michelle Grisham issued a public health order on Friday, temporarily suspending firearms. I like how this says near playgrounds and parks in our surrounding city. This was and the surrounding county, the entirety of the surrounding county. So stop trying to downplay
playgrounds?
this, CNN.
Playgrounds and parks, and the
And the
entire
And the entire here's CNN for you. You want to talk about what we were talking about earlier,
mostly
where it
peaceful, mostly
Yeah.
peaceful.
says mostly peaceful protests. What you see behind me is not flames; it's happy campfires of destroyed
It's a
businesses.
summer of love, not murder and destruction.
Yeah. So, suspending the Second Amendment based on a public health crisis. Not to throw another quarter in the Alex Jones was right jar, but he
Hold
called this shit years ago when COVID first started, saying, "People, get ready. They're gonna weaponize this, and they're gonna turn this into a policy where they're gonna start stripping your firearms from you. People, I'm not playing. Listen to me right now. This is not a joke.
1776 will commence again.
Will commence again."
It's very good.
Oh God, the voice. Yeah. Second Amendment, bitch. what the fuck is this?
Well, they disregard every other amendment. I mean,
It's
it doesn't
just-
surprise me.
Why is
But
it
at least the
public
sheriff,
health order?
yeah,
That's
a
the
public
part
health
that's so
order for
fun to me.
firearms.
Yeah, well,
So,
it's a
but
workaround.
I have an important question to ask though regarding that article you pulled up.
Yeah,
Were you shopping for new glasses recently?
I was with my
Okay.
2020
There you go.
vision.
That's the algorithm.
No,
I just because there's a lot of glasses ads on that. I just was curious,
yeah, because I need to make sure I'm fucking reading this right.
Yeah, like you said, they're turning it into a public health issue. That's what 2020
Which I
was.
guess you could say, like, hey, bullets in the chest are bad for you. So that's obviously
what 2020 was, using public health to bring in tyranny, to abolish the Constitution and all of our Bill of Rights.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, 2020, COVID-19, completely exaggerated the public health crisis, turned it into a public health crisis to trample on our Constitution. They're doing the same thing with guns now.
Yeah, the fact that
That was
they're
the
trying to make gun violence a health risk, that is just not even the same thing.
yeah.
And this whole narrative, I want to touch on this.
We're paying you
this whole
to not
narrative
get a
that they
bullet.
push that
Like the CDC
Yeah,
and stuff,
that.
public health. We're paying you to keep Ebola away from us, not guns.
Yeah, stay in your lane, dude. The statistic that says that gun violence, and I just want to throw this out here because I feel like this is very important, especially for people that don't really keep up with the information as far as the minute details. The number one killer of minors is what they have it as children is statistically quoted as gun violence, right?
Did they really?
Hang on. If you take the ages 15 to 19 years old out of that, it drops down to accidental death. And the only reason the age 15 to 19 is involved in that is inner city gang violence. That's a fact. That's a fact. You can look that up. That's 1,000% a fact. Inner city gang violence between 15 and 19 years old is what makes that death statistic work. You remove that, and that's a culture thing.
Yeah.
That's a culture thing. I'm not saying anything that has nothing to do with race. That has everything to do with a culture thing. That is a gang related issue, but they weaponize it as, hey, these
School
guns
shootings.
that you buy are murdering your children on their own. That is factually incorrect.
And even if you care about that statistic, I'll quote
I think
Benjamin Franklin again. If you're willing to give up liberty for security, then you deserve neither liberty nor security. Doesn't matter. It's a constitutional right. We're going to defend it to death. Doesn't matter what statistic you pull on us.
Yeah. I mean, there is something to be said about inner city gang violence, though, and them needing a better program than what's there now for it.
Oh, sure. I personally think we totally dropped the ball in the education system. I mean, not to say that the people are stupid, but I'm talking about the morals, the opportunities. They're not
systematic racism.
They don't even
presidents
believe
locking
in
up
equal
black
opportunity.
fathers,
They
you know
believe
what I
in
mean? Where
equality
the
of-
government. It is their dads.
Yeah. And they don't even believe in equality of opportunity. They believe in equality of outcome, which is equity. That's not an American value.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That is a very red thought process where everyone has the same outcome versus the same opportotti.
Isn't that like a communism value?
It is.
Isn't that why we went to war in Vietnam?
That's what I was saying. It's a little red for my thinking.
Yeah.
And just got to get his hamster back on the treadmill. Get that Wi-Fi running, boy.
Somebody doesn't want me to
Hamster
talk.
wheel.
What's up? I don't know what's going on.
It's a goddamn globalist.
It's a globalist. Yeah.
It's a globalist. But yeah, so the governor of New Mexico. Let's get back on topic. This is absolutely insane. Local sheriff's office, or I believe the sheriff of the county, literally said that he's not. Yeah, literally said that he's not gonna like make his deputies enforce this at all, and said that it's unconstitutional, which is 1,000% is. And
Yeah.
who in the hell? They had her on CNN, and the CNN anchor asked her, well, Governor, you're a lawyer. Is this constitutional? You know what her answer to that was? Now, this is the governor of one of the 50 states of America. Well, we'll have to see.
But good news, the sheriff already came out and said he is not enforcing this at all.
I think push comes to shove, most sheriffs will turn that down of enforcing anywhere you go.
In Texas, the governor... No, El Paso made a COVID mandate for masking, and the governor of Texas and the sheriff in El Paso immediately said, yeah, we're not enforcing this at all.
Yeah, but let's talk about the governor, though. This is the woman that's in charge of an entire state, and she's supposed to be a lawyer, and she is just saying, we'll see.
Shrugs.
Disbarred, brought to trial. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with
that's very optimistic. I mean, probably nothing's
going to happen.
Nothing was going to happen.
No, we had people who questioned the election get disbarred.
I think
who had evidence and weren't allowed to show the evidence. You're not going to disbar someone for stepping on the Constitution.
There was a judge. One of the judges turned down her request to do that, but only temporarily. So I don't know if it's going to come back at any point for New Mexico. But one of the Supreme judges said, "Hey, we're not going to let that go through."
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I thought it was one of U.S. judge freezes New Mexico's gun ban. U.S. District Judge Davis Urales said governor's 30-day suspension of concealed open weapons curfew surrounding March before. They just want the right to carry their guns, is what the judge said. Who was appointed by President Joe Biden, which is interesting.
That is interesting. To finish the gun ban, don't tread on me. Don't tread on our rights. And the whole well-regulated militia thing. The well-regulated militia is literally just any citizen that knows their rights, that is ready to defend their rights.
And the people who form the militia have the right to determine what regulated means, not the government.
Yeah. Nope. No, because you know how we keep the government in check? By having firearms that can fight back. And again, I will say this every time it's brought up. The whole we have tanks and drones and shit. IRA, Taliban. They're still around.
Well, technically, our rights to bear arms should include us being able to own a fucking drone ourselves.
Where's my A10 Warthog? Where's my A10 Warthog?
You can't buy a tank with, a functional cannon on it. You can buy tanks whatever you want, honestly. Like, I see them for sale all the time. But
functional cannon.
They can't have a functional cannon. That's the one stipulation.
How hard is it to reverse engineer that?
Well, the firing mechanism's on the ground right here, and all you have to do is plug it in there, but the cannon doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just a 120 millimeter cannon, and I definitely don't know where some rounds are for that. They're definitely not on this pallet behind me. Just kidding. Allegedly.
What's the next source?
The next thing. It's actually very relevant to what we were just speaking on. For anyone that has anything to do with firearms, which I'm pretty sure all four of us have experience with firearms, Liberty Safe. What are you doing, man? Why are you just giving out codes to the feds on someone that's investigated for January 6 charges? Why are you just giving
Is
them
that
access?
what the charge is for?
It was January 6 charges.
'Cause
Alleged
I-
January 6 charges.
Can you
I-
put
like
like
9/11 2.0, might I add.
you should put like a tyranny
Jesus
alert
Christ.
pop up in the video, Turner, every time we talk about something like this, like tyranny alert.
I'm just gonna
tried
pop that.
so hard to find out what this guy's crime was, and I could not find it.
Yeah, it was 9/11 allegation or 9/11. Well,
Can you
it's
find
9/11
Trump?
2.0.
Yeah. Can you find evidence for Trump's charge?
Yeah.
Well,
Can't
that's
even
what
find
I'm
evidence
saying. I
for
tried
his
to
charge.
find more into this story with Liberty Safe about what this guy was even being charged with to warrant a warrant against him. But I couldn't find it because
Yeah, right here, actually from the Hodge twins. They're actually friends with him. But yeah, friend of ours was raided by feds over January 6th. His name's Nathan Hughes from Fayetteville, Arkansas. The feds called the manufacturer Liberty Gun Safe and got the passcode that got into
Wow.
it. All for protesting at the Capitol 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
That's terrible.
For protesting. So a private institution gives out codes to a civilian's privately owned gun safe over allegations from an event that happened 2.5 years ago.
Somebody's
So,
gonna.
Who's the boogeyman?
They
Tell
gotta
me
do
who the
some.
boogeyman is.
Did that story develop any more to say what he was? Did he end up getting charged with anything?
He was in jail for a minute, but I don't think it was anything other than holding.
Right. I just curious because what on January 6th happened to where there was only that one shooting that happened that whole day.
Well, Owen
right?
Schroyer said death to tyranny, and he walked on grounds, and he got 60 days in prison. So
Yeah. You know.
you could pretty much just exist, and you know.
Donald Trump said, "Peacefully make your voices heard," and he's facing a high treason charge with execution.
My question is, how
on,
can
say
he
what?
face treason charges when he was president when that happened?
Hang on. Wait. If anyone should face high treason charges to the Constitution, it should be the President of the United States. I'm just saying that right now. Because
Right,
other
but-
than that, you have a tyrant.
Yeah, but how do you commit treason when you're supreme commander? That's my question.
By
if
committing
you're
treason
actively
against the
trying to
Constitution
destroy
of
the
United
country,
States.
exactly. Yeah.
I guess,
the leader of the United States.
That's why
is
it's
not
called
the president, it's the
high treason.
Constitution.
I guess.
When the leader breaks the laws of the land, they're committing high treason.
Yeah,
No,
but he did. I mean, I don't know. He really didn't. I don't know.
clearly, but
Well, hang on. They'll find something.
Anyways, but yeah, they will find something, and the CIA will conveniently find 12 terabytes of.
I want to see if the FBI paid that company just like they paid Twitter.
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't-
get all the messages.
But like,
Elon
I
Musk
don't know.
shows the receipts.
If that guy had like videos of him, firing like a fully automatic, fucking firearm like on his fucking Facebook profile, then it'd be like, okay, maybe you need a warrant to go through his safe. But
Well,
other
then
than
why
that,
is the ATF not there? Isn't that their
yeah,
jurisdiction?
that's another thing. Why wouldn't it be the ATF looking into his gun safe and not the FBI?
Stay in your lane, bro.
Same reason public health officials want to take your guns.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why the CDC is getting called in to help with gun violence. Nothing
Yeah.
makes sense. It's all tyrannical.
Yeah, I mean,
Overstep,
the
overreach,
ATF shouldn't
tyranny.
exist anyways. But that's a different story.
That's a hot take, and
Ruby Ridge,
One-eyed
Waco.
man. Why not just shoot a fucking pregnant woman who's not armed? Hey, Ruby
The-
Ridge, for anyone that wants to know. Look it
The,
up.
the worst video I saw from the ATF was the one of that kid in the hallway, like literally crying with his hands above his head, and then they just like double tapped him anyways. That was the worst one for me.
Well, they probably thought he was a dog.
I guess.
Anyways, Yeah, so that's the hot stuff this week. There's been obviously a lot of passionate input tonight. We're all kind of fired up about this shit because again, harkening back to 2 weeks ago, I think it was now, don't fucking tread on us. Gadsden flag, bitch.
Yeah, tread on them.
Yeah. Like the laws of the land are you cannot break them without consequences. And when are we going to hold everyone accountable? I mean, just because they're rich, did they get away with it? No.
Just because they're rich men north of Richmond.
Yeah, I
You
mean, it's
said
just, a lot of it just gets swept under the rug or put on the back burner.
well, yeah, when you can pay people off to do it.
Yeah,
We don't
we're
hold them
still
accountable
waiting
for
on the fucking
Afghanistan
islands.
withdrawal.
Fucking,
Yeah,
we're
Yeah.
still waiting in the islands client list.
this is where we're at today. They're not held accountable for obvious negligence, the Afghanistan withdrawal, Maui. What we know about Operation Northwoods, all these false flags you can look up, Gulf of Tonkin, but the American citizen, the law-abiding citizen who owns a firearm, we're the bad guys.
Yep.
We're the dangerous extremists.
Yep.
We haven't killed anyone, but we're the enemy. We're the ones held accountable. We're the ones who have to face this tyranny. And we're the ones also divided and so focused on stupid political issues that get flip-flopped every 4 years.
You know what else we are? Just to add into that, we are the United States.
Yeah, we the people.
And people need to wake the fuck up and realize that we are the United States. We are the glue that holds this nation together. And when we stop fighting each other is when true progress will be made.
Yeah. But it's just unfortunate when even if you do everything legally, it's still like scary that it could happen to you. You know what I mean?
Even asked that person in Albuquerque, do you think criminals are going to follow this
Yeah.
no order to not carry weapons? No.
No. They literally
Either way, we're still going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even like I have my concealed carry permit. I pay my my ATF bribe. Their tax stamps for everything that they want, and then it's just like, okay, but does that just end up putting a bigger target on my back of someone that they could look into? Probably. You know what I mean?
Well,
Even if I
I'm
go
sure we're
through,
all in a system somewhere by now. So
well, even if you have, yeah,
Oh, I know. It's just putting a bigger target on you for
yeah.
I mean,
Literally,
I
was
If
gonna
the
say
roundups-
the fear that we have for like stepping out of bounds, that's already breaking the First Amendment.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because once you point
Yeah.
at square one with like the basic fundamental rights that we do have, you look at that, you're like, damn, they've stepped over a fuck ton. Like
Yeah.
more times than not. Yeah. I mean, you gotta just take in the information that comes our way and know what to do when the time comes. And you're going to start getting a feel for when this can be on your own home turf, or you're going to have to deal with this when tyranny becomes more rampant, I would say. And that's,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would agree that it's coming in even worse waves in the days to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like every other week there's something new. I was honestly bewildered when I read the whole Albuquerque thing. I was like, there's no way. And then, the Liberty Safe thing on top of it. It's just like, so anyone is, I mean, they literally said that they're going to be charging people to the full extent of the law with the whole Albuquerque thing for practicing their Second Amendment rights, their God-given Second
and that's what I'm
Amendment
saying.
rights.
Even the guys that are concealed carrying that go through and do the classes and
That
pay
doesn't
the
matter.
extra money.
It
That's what I'm
doesn't
saying.
matter.
It's fucked up to then charge somebody, make someone go through the extra, cautionary. Like my
Well,
thing.
yeah,
is,
you can have this. You can have it, the carrot on the stick, until we tell you can't.
Yeah,
Here's
it's
my
crazy
biggest-
to go through that, and then
Here's my biggest rant about January 6th. So the reason all these people are guilty on January 6th is because their protest, their argument is based on the lie of the stolen election. Well, before I see anyone from January 6th show up in court, then I want to see every motherfucker who's involved in the lies of WMDs and mass graves in Iraq in court.
Fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Fact.
Because we're
Get
20 years
justice.
past
Get
that,
justice
and not
for
one
all our
person,
wounded veterans.
not one
Get-
person has been held accountable for that. And we're seeing normal, average Joe motherfuckers sitting in fucking prison. Like the Q shaman who was in prison for 2 years because they refused to release his videos where he was actively trying to get people out of the Capitol to stop the destruction. And he sat in jail for 2 years. And then when he's released, the Speaker of the House releases the videos that threaten national security that proved his innocence.
Yeah, I love that tag. Oh, it threatens national security. That means we can fucking bury it. We can bury
Yeah.
the truth.
It's-
Where's the justice for all the dead civilians, all the dead Iraqis, all the dead soldiers that are caught up in this goddamn propaganda machine that we were
Yep.
all fucking
And
caught
now they
up
want
in.
another war.
Yeah.
Based on another
brown
guy.
man in the Middle East bad because of 9/11. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's
Some
not
people-
fucking
Yeah.
true.
Some
But that's
people
what we're taught.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Some, yeah, it's fucked.
Just don't forget
We're about to
Orange Man
face-
bad.
We're about to face another distraction and another war with Ukraine and the lies of Russia.
Yeah, because the Red Menace is coming back, even though they're not.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, closing statements. What are thoughts? Andrew, what do you got?
I guess, like I just said, look into the crimes of the people sitting in power before you start looking at everyday Americans, your brothers and sisters, the fellow average Joes who don't have power and are just taking it from these guys who haven't been held accountable for their lies and their crimes and their violating of the Constitution.
Yeah, Lot, what do you got?
Just for people to stay aware and to realize that if we don't do anything now, then soon there'll be nothing we can do to stop it. And wherever that takes us is a pretty scary sight. So
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, you can look anywhere through history. I recently was watching a program where they purposely read from the German Constitution during the 1940s about the military having the ability to disarm the populace when it's deemed a national security thing, and it very much was running
in
parallel
itself-
to a health risk. So
yeah,
people, be
That-
aware.
they're
That
testing
in
the waters
itself
right
is
now.
a
That's what they're
national
doing.
security risk if you care about the Constitution.
That is. Dean, what do you got?
Oh, shit.
Be cautious on doing all smart homes. You know what I mean? So if the FBI is going to pick up fucking
Holy
your
shit,
Liberty,
yes.
yeah, if the FBI can go grab your fucking safe code from the manufacturer, just imagine what your Amazon Smart Lock can do. You know what I mean?
I
If-
used to
if you're-
install them
you're
for a
Alexa.
living. I know.
That's what I'm saying. So if the FBI starts there, what's stopping them from saying, "Hey, we don't like what you tweeted the other day, so we're gonna lock you out of your house. Go fuck yourself."
Hey, also, I just want to throw this out there. This is not paranoia. This is from someone that actually knows how technology works. Webcams and any indoor smart cameras, especially the ones that are tied to Wi-Fi, beware.
Yeah.
Because there's been many a story of hackers just watching people in their own homes. And if a random hacker on his laptop can do it, imagine what the federal government can do.
Yeah.
That's my closing thing, just adding to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my doors have like keypads on them, but not connected to Wi-Fi because I do not trust that. As
Yeah.
far as I don't want to be able to unlock my fucking front door through my phone. As
Through an app?
convenient that might be for me, but it's just it's just like, oh, okay.
Well,
Guess
that's the thing with modern society is we trade convenience for
That's why they want
self-reliance.
That's why they want centralized money, currency, digital currency, centralized digital currency,
social
for
credit
control.
stores.
Yeah,
Social
social
credit
credit stores.
reducted.
Can't buy and sell unless you have the mark of the beast. I mean, the the centralized
That's the
digital
rabbit
currency.
hole. Yeah. But yeah, we're kind of running over.
So, do you have any closing statements? Since you asked everyone else, I'll ask you.
You
Yeah.
did yours, right?
Well, I was
You
adding
didn't.
to it. No, I guess my official closing statement is resist. I'm not saying resist in a violent way. resist with your God-given constitutional rights. You have the right to protest. You have the right to the freedom of the press. You have all of these. You have freedom of speech,
Life and liberty.
life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. This nation was built upon people taking initiative and making things happen in a lawful manner. That is what we're trying to do here. We are trying to be a group of like-minded individuals. And I know for a fact that every single person here has disagreed with each other on things. And you know what? That's a good thing. We need that. But we come together to form this coalition of crazy bastards that are just slightly crazy enough to actually make a stand. And, if more people would join us, that would be awesome. That is the whole point of this, is unity. We need unity. We do not need
Absolutely.
division in this country. We are the United States of America, not the fractured states of America. And with that rallying cry, we're gonna we're gonna end episode 5 of the BHPP. So yeah, everyone have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.